but you'll see some common themes between these two decks. The win con for that green-white deck. Let's do housekeeping here. The win condition for the green-white deck was Pride of the Conquerors. And it's the main win condition of the Vamp deck as well. I think this deck is tier 1. You might be able to say 1.5. I've been running it for a while. I'll say my experience level is high with this deck. Yeah, the Tender Shoot. Yeah, that card's cool. If there's more Dryads, it could be something. I guess there's Old Growth Dryad. Old Growth Dryad would be +5/+5. Is that true? Sapperlings get +2/+2. Old Growth Dryad is not a Sapperling. It's just a Dryad. All right, let's get going. So we'll start with Pride of the Conquerors because we've already mentioned it. I'm only playing 3, but 4 is probably pretty good. So it's basically just a token deck. And by running Vamps, we get to run Call of the Feast, which you can't really do in green-white. If green-white had a equatable card, it would be better, but there's no card like this in green-white. I mean, you could go Abzan, but it's like, why hurt your mana base when Vamps is probably stronger? We generate the full amount of tokens available to us. Should I show you the good stuff? I'm sure there are, Shard, but there's still always going to be 1/1s or something. It's not like there's going to be a 4/4 Sapperling. And I might just be eating my words immediately, but let's see. We'll stick with the boring stuff first. Boo, Legion Lieutenant. So we don't play any Radiant Ascendancies. We use Pride of the Conquerors. And I've been pretty happy with it. What do we got? Dusk Legion Zealot. Good card. I might be at 3 Martyrs of Dusk. I got some spicy win cons. 1 Sanctum Seeker. What is this, a champion? Champion of Dusk. These are only one-ofs. You don't really need these to win. You think there's going to be other Lord effects? Sapperling Lords? I guess you could run green-white with Radiant Destiny and name Sapperling. Which you would probably be into since you're trying to win with Phoenix tokens. All right, and now let's get into some of the good stuff. I guess there's only one thing. Woo! Snubhorn Century, boys. Quad horns. This card's no joke. Shout out to Nate Price and Sam Black. It doesn't synergize at all with the Legion Lieutenant, but it does synergize with Ascendancy. That's true, Shard. Holy moly. So, imagine, if you will. It's not the right sound, but I don't have a good imagine sound. You play turn 1 Snubhorn, turn 2 Dusk Legion Zealot, turn 3 Martyr of Dusk. What happens if they Golden Demise you? Your Snubhorn lives. Your Martyr of Dusk turns into a 1/1 token. Your Dusk Legion Zealot dies, but you already drew a card. So basically nothing. You lose 1 permanent off the board, which kind of sucks for Ascendancy, but basically nothing. And I think that's where Snubhorn is very good, is that it makes Golden Demise much weaker, and Golden Demise is the bane of these decks. Also, Pride of Conquerors you can cast to get your creatures above Golden Demise, which is another way to get around Golden Demise. Boros tokens, you would, Shard. But we're playing a token deck, so targeted removal should be bad against us already. Chupacabras, Moments of Craving, Vraska's Contempt are all pretty bad. I mean, they can pick and choose their targets. Baffling End. Nate Gas. But the Snubhorn just gives you an incredible resiliency to Golden Demise. Now, I did have a bad time with this deck because I was playing blue-black. I mulled to 5. And then he was able to cast double Golden Demise in a turn. Gross, Shard. Gross. Naya Dino Anointed. Just Raptor Hatchlings and Regisaurs. Gross. Polyraptors. Polyraptor? Polyraptor with the Northern Procession is just a win. If you could trigger it once. Holy God. Let's fill out the deck. I'm telling you, this Snubhorn is huge. And often turn 4, I would say, you've ascended and you're ready to go. Like, if you could play Call of the Feast turn 4, you pretty much ascended. And it's a 3/3. There's a few other little spicy things I have in here. Squire's Devotion. I think I'm running 2. This gives you 2 permanents for 3 CMC. Gives you another token, and it's very fun to put on your Snubhorn. A 4/4 life-linking Snubhorn is nothing to snub your nose at. Shout out to Huge.
Hey boy.
All right. And we're only missing the control here. For control, I'm running 3 Baffling Ends and 2 Bindings. Baffling Ends are a little bit more important than Bindings because you want to attack, but you don't have to. You can sit back until you find a Pride and then swing in. A lot of this deck might be that no one is expecting Pride. But no one really has anything to do against Pride. But I do probably get more blowouts than if Pride of Conquerors was all over the place. Like if you're playing another Vamp deck and you guys both have like 6 1/1 tokens and I haven't done anything for 5 turns and then suddenly I swing in with everything. And they 1-for-1 block everything and then I Pride and their board is decimated. But it's hard to play around that too. Because of the life link, like it's hard to just give away 6 free life as well as have them do 6 damage. So oftentimes they will try to do the 1-for-1 block. That's when you pride them. I know I'm playing Squire's Devotion with without Adanto Vanguard, and I know I'm not playing Mavern Fane. I don't know. There's just no room for Mavern Fane. Could take out, like I've won with Sanctum Seeker. Could take that out. Could take out Champion Dusk. I've won with that card. The problem is if you have no board and you play Mavern Fane, it's kind of meh. Oh, 2 Legion's Landings. That's all I got. I had to buy one because for some reason I've been unable to pack a single Legion's Landing. I would go to 3 maybe, but no more than that. I think 4 is too much. Legion Landing is 2 permanents for the price of 1 mana. If you're talking Ascend game, it's probably the best card you could do. I can't think of a better card than Legion's Landing for Ascend. Nope. There is no better card for Ascension than Legion's Landing. So this is an Ascend deck, and yeah, we are not playing any Radiant. The King in Yellow, Zah! Yeah! What up? 3's a good number? Yeah, I think 3's a fine number. I don't know what I would cut, though. And once again, guys, I'm sorry. I'm a little sick here, so I'm bowing off camera to do gross sick stuff. No, I don't like Radiant at all. I don't think Pride of Conquerors and Radiant Destiny should be in the same deck. Radiant does nothing, turn 3. Does nothing. Queen's Commission gives you 2 tokens. Squire Devotion gives you 1 token and a permanent, probably reaching Ascend. Sup, sup. King in Yellow. I like... It's 2 permanents. Radiant Destiny is 1 permanent. Ascendancy is important. Also, Radiant Destiny does not hit Snubhorn. Pride of Conquerors hits everything. I know it's only 1 card, but there's 4 of them. I don't like it. This is my take on Vamps. I already built the... I also don't like Alinda. I mean, I should splash 1. If I have it, and I know I do. Maybe I would take out Champion of Dusk and run Alinda for a little bit. The thing is, lots of times you're not attacking. Like, they have a Ripjaw Raptor and a Ranging Raptor, and you have 6 1/1 tokens. Or maybe a 2/1, you know, a Snubhorn and 6 tokens. You don't want to just attack for no good reason. And just die and stuff. So the times you attack are 1 if you want to flip Legion's Landing, which most of the time it's worth it. 2, you have a Pride in hand and you're going to blow them out. 3, you're already blowing them out. They got nothing on board. Then you're attacking. It is sweet. That rose is very nice. So it's not like you're just constantly tapping all your creatures and a lot of creatures are dying and it can load up in Alinda and then you pop Alinda. Like, I like all the 4 drops I have in this deck better than Alinda right now. Call to the Feast for sure. Ixalan's Binding, great. Sanctum Seeker, better win con. Yeah, you're talking about Mavern. I couldn't find space for it. I wouldn't say that Mavern Fane is necessarily better than Queen's Commission. But this deck is about ascendancy and pride. You can't use pride if you're not ascended. +1/+1 is garbage. +2/2 is great. And it's a huge difference, and you have to make it to ascendancy. You have to. And you have to do it as fast as possible. And all these other cards that you guys are mentioning are not doing that. Radiant Destiny, Maverick Fane, and Alinda are all way slower in terms of putting permanents on the board. Sky Marcher Aspirant, super good with Ascendancy. It's kind of a must kill because the board's stalled out because of all your tokens. If you can just spend all day attacking with a flying 2/1 or 3/2, you're good. Compared to +2/2, Goblin, it's garbage. I was wondering if anyone was going to check me on that statement. Keep in mind, folks, Pride of the Conquerors can be used on defense for those golden demises, or savage stomps, or reckless rages, or lightning strikes. I think you'll have a lot of fun with this deck if you try it out. And it's cheap, man. It is freaking cheap. What rares are in here? Legion's Landing and these two guys, which are entirely replaceable with many of the cards you guys already mentioned. Maverick Fane. And can you see my mouse? You can't see the mouse. Sanctum Seeker, Champion. Oh, you can't see the mouse. So there's only 4 rares in this deck. Champion of Dusk. None of them are mythic. There's a good amount of uncommons, but what the hell, man? I got 23 wild cards right now. I got 16 uncommon wild cards doing nothing. Thinks it is. I have 4 mythics, 2 rares. Maybe it's 12 uncommons and then a few common. But this deck is cheap. Yes, Shard, yes. It took me a long time to get on the Vamp train, Goblin. But I've been having fun with this deck. I just like these big win decks, you know, the ones where you have this, you get to use, what do they call them? Pump spells to go over the top. Like pummeler decks are pretty sweet. Pump spells out of nowhere are pretty fun. You'd rather Merfolk? Yeah. I don't agree with that. That's the only deck I haven't built in Arena. I need 2 more rares. If I had 2 more rare slots, 2 more rare wild cards, I could probably build a decent Merfolk deck. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna... That's an everlasting fight. But I'm enjoying this version of Vamps. It's just a better version of the green-white token deck. Like, strictly better, almost. Because of the added Vamp interactions you get with Legion Lieutenant. And Call to the Feast. It's super low to the ground. It's protected against Golden Demise. Like, I beat a game against Blue-Black Control on Sky Marcher, Aspirant, and Legion Lieutenant. That was all I got out. That was all I needed. They put out like a Ferocitodon or something, and I baffled it, and then that was the game. I guess it wasn't Blue-Black Control if they're running Ferocitodon, but whatever. Not that many people... Goblin, get in. Have you written them, Goblin? Everyone I've seen in this chat who's been trying to get in has basically gotten in. Angry Beard was the last one, or Hyunyun are the 2 last ones, I think, to get in that I know of. But you got to write them, Goblin. You are off the list. You are off the list. If you want to get back on the list, you have to write them. Because right now you are off the list. If you applied then, I think you should be in. And I think you're off the list. Anyway, this deck's got it all. Like, I wish Angry Beard was here because he knows. Yeah, I would go through Wizard support. I once tried to look for, I know they posted it one day, like after the arena stream. But I would go through Wizard support. Everything gets looked at Wizard support. Fix that link, Shard. That link is no good. But you need to contact them, Goblin. You need to contact them. All right. So this is great. This deck is great. You can build it on the super cheap. Legion's Landing would be the only thing I would say is a required rare. Because of the fact that it is the best way to get to Ascendancy in the game. But because it's legendary, 3 is probably the most you want to run. One punt on, oh, phone. Okay. Yeah, man, I used to do some soul streaming. I haven't done that in a long time. It would be a poop show if I did soul streaming, that's for sure. The last thing I strummed was, I think, the Dark Souls 3 blind playthrough, which I probably had 0 to 1 viewers. Yeah, if you want a good Souls player, you should probably check out Huge. He's better than me at the game. All right, let's move on. Let's get into big time Troll Fest.